What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and indeed, very excited to do this. I wanted to give a shout out to Ben Fraser, makes acid techno and psy-trance under the name Sabretooth. I just reacted to one of his acid techno tunes, which although it has psy flavorings, again, it's sort of like a blending of his different styles in a very effective way. But yeah, we're going to listen to a punk rock project that he has started called The Creeping Tide. Again, as I mentioned in that reaction to his acid tune, Chris Liberator recently put us in touch. I've been friends with Chris the last couple years, and you know, I mentioned this in a number of videos, but he is as much of a good person as he is a DJ and producer, so once again, shout out to Chris. But he introduced me to Ben, and he was saying that, again, that Ben has a punk rock project called The Creeping Tide, so Ben was cool enough to send me the tunes so that I'm able to react to them, so I wanted to get to that right away. There's several tunes on the album. I think it's like 15 or 17. Let me look it up really quickly. So, you know, it'll take a week or two to go through everything, but yeah, there's 15. So we're going to start with the first tune, which is called The Sinners. You know, as I often do when I'm reacting to a tune I haven't heard for the first time, I briefly just sort of speculate about the title a bit. The Sinners, obviously, it's a sort of accusatory phrase. It's a phrase indicating ethical transgressions or a general immorality, and it sounds like it might be targeted at, you know, sort of largely influential individuals, political, cultural, social, and so on, who for their own avarice or ambition, or those of their cronies or political allies and so on, extract, marginalize, exploit, and otherwise place themselves and their allies in positions of dominance, and again take advantage essentially of the other sectors in society, or use other sectors of society to do their dirty work without any meaningful compensation or consideration if they are in fact sacrificed. So again, part of that is, you know, some of those themes there are based on my understanding of punk bands I've been listening to for a long time, with a progressive ethos and a sort of like desire to move away from sort of antiquated, you know, ancient regimes, sort of forms of ideological, political, and social organization. So yeah, when I see a phrase, "the sinners," in a punk rock tune, I'm inclined to think about, again, exploitative and oppressive, like, political authorities who enact their will against the popular sentiment and so on. So we'll have to see if that has anything to do with it. As I always say, even in regard to reacting to, you know, say Subhumans or bands and songs that I've been listening to for a very long time, you know, my lyrical analyses, they're never definitive or authoritative. They're just reflective of the way, you know, my brain interacts with particular phrases as it relates to, you know, the context of a style of music or so on. So let's get to it. This is The Creeping Tide, Ben Fraser's punk rock project, and the track is called The Sinners. I like it, kind of that like music box opening, and then you know it's gonna like also a sort of ambient like wind. Come on. Yeah.
One by one, we make sure we have nothing to lose. All to care and we will share this crime on. We are the sinners. We are one.
Or, okay.
We are the sinners and our minds are gone.
We are the decadent. We're what you fear. Layer, like a keyboard layer or something. I think it's just a guitar. I love this. Yeah, I feel like the lyrics are sort of flipped from what I was thinking. Lines are gone. Awesome. That was great. It gave me sort of like mid to late 80s punk rock feels, which again, like, I like punk rock from all eras, but you know, some of my favorite bands and some of my favorite albums and tunes are in, you know, sort of different styles in the 80s. You know, fair to say an album from 81 probably going to sound different from 88, but bottom line, that gave me like old school punk rock vibes. Again, I think it was sort of lyrically in a different direction than I was initially suspecting, though I do think there's still an implied, like, you know, we are not the masters of the world, we're the sinners, we're the, again, the people that, you know, you get warned about when you're growing up and so on. So yeah, I feel like there was still an implied, like, contrasting of, you know, sort of the people in the punk rock scene with the sort of like political and religious and cultural and social like overlords. But yeah, again, I think it was more like we're labeling ourselves the sinners. We're embracing that sort of, you know, we are the miscreants of society, and we are here to do things differently than have been done for a very long time by most people. So yeah, shout out to Ben again. I'm very much excited to go through this, and once again, thanks to Chris for putting us in touch. But yeah, let me know what you think of the tune. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Peace.